Incredible. 97-1. That's the first time I've heard that one. How we doing today? It's a Friday. Jim Costa in for Mike Valenti. He'll be back next week. We're having some fun. Who Said It coming up at 4 o'clock today. And a little college football look ahead later in the hour. David's got a college football blitz. Some big matchups early in the season. I told him if I could close my eyes, blink, and it's Labor Day weekend, I would do it. I can't wait.
No,
Yes.
you can't do this.
Take the time away from the lakes and the pools. Get me to college football season. David's going to teleport us. That
Finally get like 7 consecutive days of great weather.
It's been nice. David, if you could teleport us there later in the hour, it'd be great. Let's talk about Lions OTAs. And you made a comment about this. I don't know how big a deal anything is, but headlines catch our attention. And this one was discussed pre-show, and we're going to bring it to the air.
You mean the Jared Goff and Jameson Williams just appear not to be on the same page?
Yeah, I believe.
At OTA yesterday. Offensive coordinator, I think Jameson missed a throw. Goff throws his hands up in the air in pure disgust. Ben Johnson, the OC, had to go over and kind of calm him down. It was reported that Goff and Jameson kind of went walking off alone, but you could see Goff demonstrative, like those who are looking in.
Yeah, so all these beat writers are doing their notebooks, and this is from USA Today, Lions Wire. Jeff Risen article. It says the chemistry between Goff and Jamo continues to show it needs more time. They're not on the same page with when and where Williams is supposed to be on routes. After one rep, Goff threw his hands in disgust. Ben Johnson came in, walked through some of the pointers, and then they continue to talk through it. Is this not what you do at practice? You rep it, you make mistakes, you correct it, you get back out there. But with Jamo, there's just a little bit of concern that sinks into people's psyche. And for you, Rico, you were talking about this, like, why is it always something with this guy?
It is. It's starting to be every little thing. It's not, let me just preface this by saying he's done nothing illegal. I mean, he's sitting out for 6 games, but from the videos that he puts up on Instagram and just the places that he's visiting and the things that he's doing and just the overall attitude, he's portraying the diva-like mentality, but you haven't done diva-like things. There was a reason why teams put up with certain receivers for years because they produced on the field. One catch for 1 touchdown. Like, yeah, you were hurt last year, but you would think that this man would be grinding to get back out on the field. No, he's placing bets in the team facility, and then he can't even own it and say, yeah, that's on me. You know what he said? I didn't know we couldn't do that. Really? Really? You didn't know that we can do that. The only reason he's still around, he was number 1 pick. Because you saw what happened to all the other players that were involved. They got released, but you couldn't release him. So now he gets to 6 games. NFL's not that stupid. But it is starting to be a little bit of a concern for me of what are you doing here? What is going on? Like Goff, who's a pretty mild-mannered quarterback. He is not the in-your-face, Tom Brady, grab you by the face mask type of guy. If he's saying something, maybe there's a little bit more to this because that chemistry's not there. And once the season starts for 42 days, they won't be able to work on that chemistry. So this is crucial time now.
Well, and it is worth pointing out everything with a grain of salt here. It's June. I should preface every call we take with it's June. So I beat them to the punch. We understand.
And it's OTAs, and I was told that OTAs don't matter.
Laporta has chemistry with Goff. Gibbs has chemistry with Goff. Jamo doesn't. Wasn't there also a story about Jamo eventually making his way out to Goff when they were running all those patterns on their own?
He wasn't there the first day.
He wasn't there initially,
Yeah.
but he got there at the end, and he's the only guy not smiling. Again, I know we're reading into this, but then he's the guy who's not in the right spots during OTAs. When do you get concerned with Jamo? Is this something? Is this nothing? 248-539-9797.
Because for everything that, Brad Holmes and all the kudos we've given him, this is one that could backfire of maybe he's not that draft genius because remember, he moved up to get him. Mm-hmm. And for the second straight year on opening weekend, he's not going to be there. This time, it's not because he got injured in a college football playoff game. is self-inflicted. You don't think that they couldn't use him going to Kansas City against the Chiefs? He's not going to be there.
You're right. Where he was drafted matters a lot in terms of the amount of rope people are willing to give the guy. When they drafted him, it was an exciting pick. He was blowing by Georgia's defense, all those NFL guys. The Lions want to run the ball. You want to put safeties in a tough position. If you want to come up and stop the run, we have someone who you cannot cover straight line down the field. In theory, the pick made all the sense in the world. And everybody's going to hold out hope that he puts it together between the ears and between the white lines, and he's a great player for this team.
And don't get me wrong. I really want this man to succeed.
Same.
Because I think that, as you said, this could be special for him. Right place, right time. But to me, it feels like he's wasting an opportunity, and I don't know why. I don't know what makes this man tick, but I don't feel like football is his main priority right now. I don't know what is. But yeah, it's always something. It's just little something here, you hear it, that, and whispers. It's like, Jameson, how about you just go out there, redeem yourself? Because when I see the free Jamo shirts that Kirby is wearing, you know what? You're showing more pride in him than he's showing in himself.
So apparently that rep where Goff threw his hands up in disgust and was animated wasn't the only miscue from Williams on the day. There weren't any drops, but he continues to show he needs more work with timing, release, in-breaking routes, etc.
Jameson Williams is a guy that's made it his entire career off his skills because he's better and faster than most people. This is the NFL. You got to tighten all of that stuff up. You have, because
especially with the spotlight on you now.
Everybody's just as fast as you. Everybody can do everything that you can do. We were all Americans, okay? We were all on great teams. We all did a lot of stuff in college. What can you do now? That's what keeps you from being a short career to a Hall of Fame career. I don't see him putting in that Hall of Fame type of work off the field.
DJ, what are you seeing? You're on 97.1. What's your reaction?
What up, though? Y'all all right?
What's happening?
That drop is hilarious. Yeah, so, you know, I called Rico and Mike and Dave them probably about a month ago with Jamo's little nonsense then and now this. And I hate to say this, but I keep saying this to Rico. It reminds me of Charles Rogers. This is what it's starting to be. Like, remember, Charles Rogers scored a touchdown, and then remember he got hurt. And the next year he was supposed to come back and have a breakout year. He was hurt or missed games. He was out hanging in MGM instead of football. Then it was this, it was that, it was this, it was that. This is what Jamo was reminding me of. And I'm a diehard Lions fan. I'm hoping this pans out, but it's really looking like Charles Rogers. Like, those two guys even dang near rank the same 40s almost. They're the same height, same everything. So that's what I'm starting to see, and I hope I'm wrong, guys.
You know what it is? Like, Rico, a guy not being in the right spot during a rep of OTAs means nothing to me.
Right.
It's when it's everything else that it turns into a conversation. If a guy runs a wrong route in practice and coach pulls him aside and goes, hey, when we call this terminology, you got to run a 9 route, or we need you to run a post route. Miscommunications. This is the time to have miscommunication so you don't when the season starts.
Because here's what happens is when you run that wrong route, you kind of stop and say, and you explain
teachable moment.
Hey, you broke to the left. You were supposed to go to the right, and then you break up the seam. And there's no yelling. It's just, it's a teachable moment. Okay, let's just stop right here.
But when Goff's throwing his hands in disgust, and
that tells me we've had this conversation before.
You know what you're supposed to do.
And you're still not paying attention to what I'm saying.
And then
the coordinator has to step in there, kind of like the mediator. Okay. Let me say it again slowly for the people in the back. Here's how you run the route. So that's what I'm seeing. It's just a bunch of little things. I'm just starting to feel concerned about it. It could just be me. 248-539-9797. But I look at this, and it's just one more thing. And I would love to just see a bunch of positive things come out, but it's not. And it hasn't. I'm going to be careful saying it's not. It has not reached Ja Morant type status.
No, nowhere near that.
But it's kind of like with Ja. It's just like, dude, You didn't learn from the other stuff that you keep doing other stuff.
Oh, I get what you're saying. And it's nowhere near the severity.
It's not near the severity of what Ja is doing.
It's a pattern of behavior that you need to be able to rein in.
But you would think, okay, my bad. I screwed over the team. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be Superman out here. I'm gonna make sure I'm the best receiver when I.
Well, little stuff. When they were throwing routes out, was it in California?
Yeah.
When they were out throwing routes together, shouldn't he have been the first guy there after missing last season?
He should have been greeting everybody, shaking their hands, saying, "Hey, I'm sorry."
Shouldn't he be the one that knows the playbook better than even Jared Goff? Shouldn't all he have done is...
Here's the thing. You're the one that got suspended.
Yeah.
So you know what? Yeah, you do need to make this up to your team. And how do you do that? Like you said, know the playbook. First one in, last one out. Hey, what else can I do? Because I'm going to be gone and I'm going to let my team down for 6 weeks because I did something stupid. So you need to make this up. I'm not seeing that right now. And that's a mentality. And I don't think he has that right now. That's why
all the talent in the world.
It wasn't that big of a deal, but it kind of angered me of that whole free Jamo. Like, no, don't make this man a victim.
Don't make him a martyr.
Right.
Yeah, I had no issue with Kirby sticking up for his teammate, but Jamo has to be the change. He has to do it himself.
Right, and maybe it's funny if you see Jamo and you hear all these great things about him. It's just like, okay, we're like, yeah, Jamo, you have to do better because you're in a situation now. The team expected a lot of you.
When you said it's always something with him, I felt that, and I'm not nearly as concerned maybe as you are, but I do feel this sense of it's always something with this guy. It's always something with this guy. He got one career catch. It's always something with this guy. Where are you at with your concern? Are you concerned at all? Not about a guy missing a route at OTAs. Earlier in the week, it was not being on the same page with the deep ball. And it was, the suspension and then showing up to Vegas that weekend. It was not being their first day throwing routes with his teammates. It was asking for Aaron Rodgers' jersey after the last game he ever plays at Lambeau. Just this lack of awareness.
It was liking on social media about playing with Lamar Jackson. Or some of the stuff that we've seen on his the Instagram account where he's in places in Detroit he probably shouldn't be at that time of the night. And even when he was out passing money out to the little kids, it's like, okay, there's better ways to do this. Yeah. You're making yourself a target right now. So like I said, he's not doing anything criminal.
No.
But I do sense problems.
Do you sense immaturity?
A pattern.
Immaturity.
Yeah, there it is right there. If I had the bell,
hey, find the bell. There it is.
There you go.
Immature. That's where we're at.
You have an opportunity in front of you. You're not capitalizing on it. So 248-539-9797.